Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the AFT Show. It's episode number 13, and tonight's show is brought to you by S&S Cycle. I'm Scottie Deubler, the voice of American Flat Track and co-host of the podcast Off the Groove, and we got an exciting show for us here tonight. Two riders that are in the AFT Super Twins class, and I can't wait to talk to them. One of them is our defending champion, and the other finished third in the points last year. I'm talking about the Bauman Brothers. Let's bring them in right now. Number one, ladies and gentlemen, it's Briar Bauman, and the 37, it's Bronson Bauman. What's up, fellas?
How's it hanging?
What's going on?
Another day, another day. It's time to have some fun here on the AFT Show. Briar, looks like you're in the same setting as we talked to Shayna and Jared last week. What's Pennsylvania like? How's it treating you?
It's been good, honestly. I'm kind of over it a little bit. All we've been doing, it seems like, is housework, and I'm not good at working, that's for sure. So just hanging. Yeah, chores around the house. Shayna has a long list, but yeah, hopefully get back to racing here soon. I'm over the chores.
Yeah, Shayna said you didn't like much of the chores. Actually, most of the chores you liked were inside. She liked doing the outside stuff. It's
not that I like the inside stuff. It's just, I mean, there's not many girls who race motorcycles, and there's not many girls who race motorcycles well. And Shayna's one of the few. So I just kind of take it with a grain of salt that she doesn't like doing indoor things either. So if I didn't do it, they wouldn't get done. So yeah, I'm on the dishes. I'm on the laundry. She mows the lawn. But yeah, it's one of those deals. So yeah, I just if it didn't happen, like if I didn't do it, it's not getting done. So we got to do it somehow.
Briar, did you watch the show last week? I know it was happening right there in the house where you live, but did you go back and watch the show last Thursday night?
I didn't. I spent so much dang time with Shayna and Jared over the last couple of weeks. I wasn't in a position I wanted to see or hear them any extra. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
I listened to them bigger 24/7 for like 2 weeks straight. So I'm like, I'm not listening to this at all.
So since you missed it, you can go back and look at it on AFT's Facebook page, or it's also on YouTube. So if you want to catch up, if you missed Jared that much, you can go back and catch up. Let's move on over to the younger brother who's sitting right there. Looks like he's in his bedroom / race shop with the red and white checkered flag. Bronson, what's life like in Illinois right now?
Boring, man. Not much to do besides work on motorcycles and try and ride them, break them, work on them again. That's about it.
You like working on them, though. I think one or two times I've stopped by your house back in California. Briar and everybody else is goofing off in the living room. You're out in the shop, working on a couple different bikes each time I stopped out there.
Yeah, just kind of something I've picked up a lot. I've always kind of had to work on my own stuff, so something I've fallen in love with, really, for sure, and it's something to always, take me back to the basics of just having fun and remember why I do it.
So what have you been doing on this extended, off season? I mean, have you been in Illinois the whole time?
Yeah, we got to sneak down to Travelers Rest, South Carolina. Got to do that, but besides that, not much, man. Just hanging out, really. Learning how to anodize parts. I got bored, so I was like, learn something new. But besides that, that's really it. Just trying to stay focused towards the goal of going racing someday soon.
So, Briar, have you guys been testing? I kind of heard some rumors, and before we started recording, you guys said you went testing not too long ago. Do you guys test together every time, or is it just this last time, or how does that work out?
Yeah, we got a chance. I think we did more riding than we did testing. Just getting back to feeling the bikes. It's been a while. But no, every time that we've gone riding, testing, whatever you want to call it, we've been together. They always kind of have a list of stuff to try and just kind of get back to the basics. So yeah, we're always together. We're always doing it. Me and Bronson, Dave Z, Dustin, Clayton, Dean, whole nine. So yeah, it's always the group, the clan. We're in it.
Well, I heard, Briar, that Bronson's a great cameraman, but it's only good for one shot.
I mean, track was an all-time. And I had him say, dude, get behind the lens, grab him. I said, I need some content. Let's get some content flowing, I got some good videos of you. I need some content. So yeah, I got it, dude. Go out and I put it on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram. You'll get to see it at Briar Bauman. See what Bronson's camera skills look like.
Well, camera skills are good. It's the rider skills that, are lacking. Dude, freshly prepped track, fast lap times coming out soon. And the guy just wads it up. I mean,
yeah, don't give the secret. I need the followers.
So Bronson, did you take some good videos and pics of your brother? I mean, did you do better than he did?
No, I mean the quality was definitely way better. You know, it was one for sure, just good quality video, and that's all you need. You know, follow him on Instagram, you'll see the quality video. I don't even know if I got a mention in it, to be honest, but you know, for credits. But he got a couple in there, a little bit blurry, camera shaky, so need to give him a few tips.
So, do you guys try to one up each other when you're out there testing? Do you guys try to set fast time? Do you guys try to be faster than each other? Do you try to pass each other?
I mean, it's hard not to get competitive, but at the same time, I think we both do a pretty good job of just understanding that when race time rolls around, that's when it needs to count. It is hard. I get fired up. I'm usually not real competitive, but not getting to race, I've been a little bit more competitive with everything I do, it seems like lately, which is weird. We don't really ride together too much. When the odds of us going down are as high as they are for each end, like
you guys see Minnesota?
Yeah, it's one of those deals like it's almost like team orders. Like, hey, you stay at that end of the track. We got Bronson at the other end. You guys get close within 10 bike lengths. One of you guys pull in. So, yeah, not a whole lot of riding together.
Do you guys keep track of the lap times at least and try to one up each other during these tests at all, or do you just stay apart?
I mean, as far as lap times go, it's tough to say because we are trying some different stuff, and sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. At the end of the day, there's always a few mentions of who was quicker. Our Indian motorcycles have cool little onboards that give us lap times as we go, and
the solos,
yeah, solos. I just learned the other day that it flashes green when you get a quick time. I didn't know that. So
when you go slow,
yeah. So get a lot more red than I do greens, but catch myself looking at the dash a lot.
So Bronson, how much do you rely on that technology? I mean, do you look at that when you're racing, or is that just more of a testing type deal?
I more so just look at lap times because it will pop up on the solo while you're riding. Once you cross the line, it will pop up lap times. Racing, it's a whole different ball game, so I'm more focused on what's ahead of me than actual lap times. So it's definitely a good tool I use sometimes while testing. I'll kind of look down while rolling down the straightaway and say, all right, well, red again. It gets pretty boring. We need to put some tape over it, quit seeing red. But it is a good tool to use. S&S Cycle has those things dialed in, and they're available for sale through S&S. They're pretty awesome. I really enjoy working on it just because you come in after you do 5-10 lap session, and you can click through and see lap 1 through 10 with lap times, and it's really cool.
Speaking of S&S, S&S Cycle has been a big part of the Factory Indian effort. Briar, what's it mean to you to have S&S backing you guys up on the factory team?
Oh man, it's huge. I think more so Bronson, actually Shayna as well, and I all had the chance to go up for employee appreciation. Like they had a 2-day event at the end of the season last year, and we had a chance to just meet everyone, make the team go around for the most part. Splits Autos kind of excluded a little bit, but just everyone at S&S is so cool. Really homegrown, great guys and girls, and just everyone that's a part of our program is so down to earth and understanding of what it takes to be competitive. So other than, besides how great the product is, we get the chance to hang out with people we really like being around. I know that I've been in a position before where maybe you didn't enjoy it quite as much and it's not as fun. So for me, fun usually helps results, and we have a fun group of guys coming from S&S, and everyone that works there is great as well.
Bronson, it seems like they're really behind the racing. They had a race up there during their appreciation, day for their employees, and all the employees came out. They didn't have to; it wasn't mandatory. They didn't make them come out. Some of them even raced on their little dirt oval out there. What was your biggest takeaway from going to visit, where the S&S Cycle up there in Viola, Wisconsin?
Man, just the will to win, really. In any aspect, they want to be the best, and it's really shown up there. If you go up there and take the tour of the facility, it's remarkable. The machinery, just the knowledge behind each and every individual person. I really think if there's a guy brushing the shop floor, he has a certain way just because it's the fastest way and the cleanest way. But S&S is a remarkable facility, and I kind of get googly-eyed every time I go in there and start looking at machinery. It's like, oh, I want to learn to run that, and oh, what's this thing do? And I have to keep my hands inside my pockets at all times. But it's really awesome.
So, Briar, you guys are on the Factory Indian team. What's it like having your brother on that Factory Indian team with you?
Well, sometimes it's pretty neat, and sometimes it's not. I'll put that right out there. I'll be open and honest about it. No, really though, 9 times out of 10, it's pretty cool. I mean, we kind of grew up together. We did all of our racing together under my parents' team, just mom and pop racing. You know what I mean? So obviously we separated quite a bit throughout once we went pro. But for it to end up, both of us be on a factory ride. There was a time when there was only one factory, which was Harley, and now Indian stepped up and has taken over as the top factory. The goal is to be on the top factory team, which is Indian. So for both of us to land in there at the same time for 2 years straight now, and unfortunately we haven't started racing this year yet, but to have what we did last year and 1 and 3 in the championship, have some wins, some podiums, like just to do everything kind of side by side. Our parents come to all the rounds. Kind of dates back to the homegrown feel through S&S. I mean, I couldn't be a better situation right now, honestly.
Bronson, you said before that as an amateur, you never even thought about the pro ranks. You didn't even know that they really existed. All you knew about was your racing out in California, your roots and stuff like that. As you've gone through the ranks, you went to your first Grand National, you got the taste of it, you got the feel for it, and now you're one of those, top-notch guys that these kids look up to. Tell us what it means to you to be on the Factory Indian team and have people looking up to you and wanting to be like Bronson.
Man, first off, be on the Factory Indian team. Once I did find out, there's a step above the local barn burners during the winter series and stuff. It was what I wanted to be. I still want to be Grand National champion, and just like my brother is. So it's a huge honor to be at the top level with the best team there is, and I really still don't understand why that they picked me. And for kids looking up to me, I don't know why. I'm just another guy. I'm a dork that knows how to turn left somewhat fast, but and right on occasion. But everything that's come from where we began. Like Briar said, mom and dad racing out of the old 6x10 trailer we used to have, and 85s all the way up to 450s. It's been just, I guess, building momentum to where we're at today, and it brings appreciation to have Briar and mom and dad all together while riding for the best team there is in American flat track.
We're talking with the Baumans. It's Briar below me and Bronson also below me right now. So the Bauman Brothers are with us here on the AFT Show. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more with these two fast guys.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. A race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
Welcome back to the AFT Show. Briar Bauman and Bronson Bauman, number 1 and number 37 on the Factory Indian motorcycles. Briar, let's talk a little bit about 2019. You started off in Daytona in 2019, on fire. Did that give you the momentum and the confidence for last season?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, everyone's always fired up for Daytona. It's hard not to be. You try and talk yourself down and get back, not down, but just level-headed. And man, it's just there's so much energy, especially now that we're in the stadium, in the speedway. So yeah, that one was big. I mean, come out with the points lead, kind of get the momentum flowing. From there on, the season went great. So yeah, I mean, that was a big step in the right direction towards the rest of the year.
Briar, you had an injury last year, and some people knew about it. We'd watch you, you'd hold your wrist different when you weren't riding, and it wasn't really brought to everybody's attention until afterwards and later on at the end of the year. Walk us through how hard it is to race these, factory Indian motorcycles on the tracks that we do, and hang on with that injury. And tell us more about that injury and how your process was to deal with that.
Yeah, shoot. I mean, when it first happened, Bronson, I was one of the 5 guys. I think there was 5 or 6 people. Maybe that is even counting family that knew. I mean, I felt like I tried to do a good job. I think some people found out that I didn't really care if they knew, but I was just trying to keep it on the down low. One of the better things to happen was Laconia the following weekend after surgery. I broke it. I crashed in Kentucky. We raced Kentucky, but I didn't break it at Kentucky. But I had surgery the following weekend, and then I went to Laconia, and that was a pretty rough racetrack. So it's tough. I thought it was gonna be a little bit easier than what it was, to be honest with you. I thought adrenaline would take over, which it did for the most part, but the rougher tracks were kind of tough. But after that, it was when we got to the clay tracks, clay half miles, it wasn't too bad. So yeah, luckily the bikes worked well, made my life a little bit easier. But and I run strictly on adrenaline, so it was difficult, but it wasn't anything to write home about.
Briar, winning that championship, the first one ever in your career, there's so much to talk about, but first off, what did that mean to you?
Oh, dude, I mean, at the time, I didn't even know how to explain it, really. I still don't, honestly. It's man, you dream about it your whole life. Me and Bronson, I mean, I was kind of the same boat he was. We went through the amateur ranks, and you never look at the bigger picture, really. You just take what's in front of you each weekend, which is a race weekend. So to get to a position where I think I was at Williams Grove, and we had like a couple to go, and I was shaking in my boots, to be honest with you, because I knew I was close. I knew that if I won that night, it was going to be pretty like locked up in my mental side, to be honest. So luckily Bronson kind of mellowed me out. I was pretty nervous that day, but we figured it out. And to get the championship, man, you can't even describe it. I mean, you think about it your whole life, and I actually am kind of mad because there's nothing like the first one. Like your first win, you can't ever describe. You can't duplicate. Your first maybe TT, your first half mile. I want to get a first mile, but the first championship, like the feeling afterwards, like the numbness for 3 or 4 months after, and like I'm not even lying, 3 or 4 months. So like you won't ever duplicate that. I mean, if you get another one, I'm sure it's going to feel really, really good. But I'll just never forget that first one, the feeling.
I saw a post earlier on social media, maybe it was last week or something, but your first half mile win on the Twin, there's a picture of me and you, and I got a hold of your arms, and I think you're in shock, and I'm so excited for you because I had made a deal with you a long time ago that I was going to interview you on your first win, just like I did on your first podium, and we made true of that there in Lima, Ohio, so that was a special moment for me.
That was cool. I had that pop up in my Facebook memories. There's photos of me, Bronson's in there, and those hideous Warner leathers, like with the name duct taped on the back. All my buddies are in there. Yeah, like that's just another example. I mean, first Twins win, you don't duplicate stuff like that. I mean, you get that feeling, you never want it to go away. So,
Bronson, tell me, as a younger brother, watching your brother for so many years and all the hard work you guys put in, you know about it more than we do, but what did it mean to you to watch your brother win the Grand National Championship last year?
It sucked. I wanted to win it. No, it was really good. I know I have a lot to learn still yet, but it was really cool for him, actually, to watch and learn from him and have him, being the points leader and telling me, hey, dude, you're running the low line. Quit being a sissy, move it up to the high side or something like that. It was really awesome because it wasn't just a teammate or anything. It was my brother, and I know we're competitive and racing against each other every weekend, but it's someone I grew up against or grew up with, not against, but it's just the fact that watching how much hard work and dedication it takes, and it drove me to be better. And I think that's what really helped me halfway through the season was watching him excel. And I said, hey, I want to do that, and I started asking him more questions, and he lent the hand out even further for me. And just to watch him actually get it completely done, I would have bet the house he would have blew it, but he got it done and hit the farm. But he pulled it through, especially after Minnesota. And it's in my opinion what Minnesota was a true definition of what a champion is. I mean, he got on that rickety old Indian, and only reason why I say that is because I helped him build the ground. But he got back up and he charged hard, and that's what he did all season, and it helped me a lot.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. It was impressive to watch. The Minnesota Mile especially was impressive. So, Briar, how's it going to feel? I know we haven't had a Grand National race yet. You know, that's coming up in Volusia here real soon, but how's it going to feel to rock that #1 plate on your back and on your motorcycle?
Surreal. I mean, I didn't think much of it at all, to be completely honest with you, until we got to Daytona and they had the bikes lined up. And then all of a sudden we're getting like the text messages like, hey, we have a meeting in the rider lounge or whatever it was called. And we all knew what it was about. And I had just walked up to the truck and saw the bikes that they're set up. We didn't have the whole pit set up, so it wasn't the full deal. But I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I'm a little bit bummed out that we didn't get to get rolling there in Daytona the way we wanted to, because it's a cool atmosphere like we talked about, all the hype, and now all of a sudden I have a different number after 8 years of having 14. So yeah, I don't know where it's, I don't know when, I don't know how to say that. I don't know what it's going to feel like to roll out with the one for national. We've done the Travelers Rest race, but it's going to be pretty cool. I know it's going to be a first time for sure.
They say it's kind of heavy. They say it makes a target on your back. Are you feeling that yet, or is it maybe not yet because we haven't started racing?
Maybe not yet. I mean, it might come around, honestly. I tell myself I'm a pretty loose guy. As you can tell, Bronson and I both are. When it comes to race time, I try and keep that same mentality. And I mean, for me, I'm saying it now while we're sitting here, not at the track and not rolling out for practice, whatever the case may be. But I mean, I did what I dreamt of my whole life. Now, like, let's go add to it. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll be different. Maybe I'll get nervous, get cold feet, or whatever the case may be. But right now, I'm just excited to get going again.
Absolutely. So, Bronson, Laconia last year, you win your first national on a twin at the Laconia short track, and you beat your brother. What did that feel like, and how long did it take to soak in?
It took me a while for it to soak in, and excuse me. It's like Briar said, it's one of the stepping stones to something we dream about our entire lives once we figure out what we want to do. And it's something that I one day thought wasn't going to come, and to actually get it done was remarkable for me. I mean, it's just a speechless feeling, to be honest. And to have Briar right there by my side with it, to get it done with, it just made it even more special. But Laconia was a war zone, man.
So, Briar, you were right there in the thick of things. I remember you doing a 360 on your motorcycle, somehow saved it and didn't fall down.
Yeah.
But tell us about that day. And then how was it satisfying? Was it gratifying? Did it make you mad? I mean, what were your feelings like to watch your little brother win his first national?
So, yeah, I mean, like I said, that was first race after surgery on my hand. And I still felt good on the track. I still felt like we could win. And, I think we had like 12 starts that day. And I laugh at it now because, man, I remember Bronson, he was messing around earlier in the race, like earlier before the main started, which was all good. But then all of a sudden I think we were on our final restart and he was nervous. I'm like, dude, you got to chill out. Everything's gonna be all right. And I actually passed him and we got the red flag. And for a second I was pretty heated, especially going to the checkered. I was like, man, this could have had that thing. I was so close. And then you see the excitement out of him, and you kind of date back to your first time, your first win, and how cool it feels. And it's like, you know what? Like he was the best guy for, I think we did 30 laps or something like that. He was the best guy for 29 of them. I got him for a quarter of a straightaway, and we had a red flag, but he got a whole shot, and he did his job even better for the last couple laps. And I mean, it was a lot of emotions. Obviously, you want to win, but you're not meant to win them all. There's reasons things happen, and I think that that was a big reason. And seeing Bronson get his first one and seeing the excitement, my family was there. I just survived. Like Bronson said, that was a war zone. The track was extremely rough, and to be honest, I didn't think I was even going to be at that race. So anything like other than excitement and just relief that it was over, There's no other feelings than that, really.
Bronson, it seemed like after practice and qualifying, everybody knew that you had the speed. A lot of people were coming up to you, including myself, saying that you're going to win your first national today.
I smoked him in qualifying, by the way. Like,
what's that?
For you guys to say that's kind of bizarre because I think I out-qualified him by like 6/10 or something crazy. Like the speed was.
Dude, I was rolling out like 8th, second row. Track started running. No, I qualified like.
I was flying.
I didn't qualify like good there. I wasn't too stoked actually after qualifying, just because I was, I think, 8th, and I wanted to be better. Of course, everyone does, but it's like I was mad. I was like, man, I'm sucking right now. I should not be here. I feel like I'm a good short tracker. This is like my style, rough, nasty, and I was 8th. I was like, dang it. I think Vanderkoy on the Harley was in front of me. I was like, man, that's bold strategy there, Cotton.
Bold strategy. So you go out there, you win, even though you didn't feel good in practice and qualifying. A lot of people are telling you you're going to win. You go out there and win. Tell me about the trophy. How do you like the trophy? And tell me, I heard it's really a special trophy. I don't even remember it. I mean, we see them, week in and week out, it seems like, but I heard it's a pretty cool trophy.
It is. I think it's like an old flintlock rifle, and Dave Z wants to shoot it. Of course, that guy is wild as all get out when it comes to geeking out on guns and stuff. He's world-renowned skeet shooter and trap shooter, but he think, there we go.
Yeah.
He wants to shoot it. I was like, man, not this one, but it's a really cool trophy. I think it's an old flintlock. So.
How did you get that thing home? I think we had to talk. Your dad said he was going to have to rent a car and drive home, or buy the rental car and drive it home. I don't know, but you can't check that thing on an airplane, right?
Yeah, no. So I was actually kind of mad about it. I had to send it with. I didn't have my first trophy for like 2-3 weeks. I had to send it with Shayna in the KTM hauler, which I was very thankful for her to be willing to take it. And I was supposed to pick it up at Lima, and what was it? It wasn't at Lima, and I was actually really bummed about it. So I'd wait another week until we went to New York, and I actually had to go to their house, pick it out, and put in my van.
Well, Briar, did he say thanks for picking it up and hauling it for you or anything?
Man, there wasn't even a thank you. He rolled in. Actually, I don't usually get up to like 10:30, 11. He rolls in, he grabs that thing, and he just heads the rest of the way to New York. I'm like, man, not even need like some cash or gas or something. Like, what's up, dude? So it's what it is,
Bronson, let's talk more about 2019. One win, of course. We just talked about 5 podiums, 11 top 5s, man. So what got into you? Tell us about your year.
Man, I think it was on your Off the Groove podcast that the first half I kind of struggled with myself. There isn't a whole lot of pressure with the factory ending team within the team and the S&S crew, but I put it a lot on myself, and finally I just said, you know what, we're here to race instead of put pressure or, stress about it. And I eventually kind of came into the, all right, man, let's let it all hang out kind of mood and mentality. And it was obviously working for my brother. He was on the podium every race that season, so up until then. And it really came around where I started riding a lot better, and, everything fell into place after that. It just I had too much pressure on myself that didn't need to be there.
Bronson, let's talk about your fitness. I mean, somehow you got lean and mean like your brother. We know his, he's at it all the time trying to stay like that. But you had some big shoes to fill coming into the wrecking crew. I mean, you got to fill in, Brian Smith's there. He's gone. Brad Baker's gone. Jared Meese on the team, and your brother. So it seemed like you dropped a lot of weight and got lean and mean, ready to go racing. So how did you do that, and what are you doing to maintain it?
Basically sugar water and powdered donuts.
now you sound like Vanderkoy.
No,
I was talking Oreos last week.
It's out of James Stewart talking about how he was beating Ricky Carmichael. He was like, yeah, I was off the couch drinking sugar water and powdered donuts. But no, actually, Briar has helped me a lot. He does what he can to help me, and I really appreciate it. And when I go and stay with them before Daytona, I lived with them, and every day they're going to do something to better themselves. So I did. And if it wasn't together, it was, hey, you better be going to the gym. And I just have that motivation now. I know what it takes. And like how I feel. It's crazy. I feel so much better and stronger, and I can do as many laps as I want without, coming off and saying, oh, man, where's that bottle of Coke at or something like that. I'm drained, but just trying to ride my motorcycle as much as possible is a huge training tool. Everyone will say that. It sounds kind of cliche, but it truly is my favorite way of training. Just going and riding with some buddies, motocross track, trails, trying to drag handlebar, doing stupid stuff like that on a motorcycle. It's all bettering yourself. And the gym aspect I haven't ever been a huge fan of, but I've definitely learned a lot from Briar and, just doing research myself and trying to just better myself every single day.
Well, Briar, have you taught him too much? I mean, he's up there battling with you guys now for wins. Have you taught your little brother too much?
Man, honestly, as on the gym side, I don't think that the gym side is as crucial as just natural ability. I think that you can't really teach stuff like that. Honestly, you either you got it or you don't. You know what I mean? Some guys have it on certain racetracks. Some guys have it on all the racetracks. So he's one of the guys that has it on 98% of the racetracks. He's probably going to tie down that last 2%, which just takes time. So no, I mean, you're going to figure it out. You know what I mean? He earned a spot before I got here on the Indian team, and there was a reason. He had some great results, and no, I don't think I taught him too much. I think that when push comes to shove, he's able to get done. And is he going to do it better than I am? Probably not. Like, that's just what I feel. So, no, I don't know. That's why they call it racing. I think that he's in a good spot for this next year. So we'll have to see.
Let's shift up into high gear. This next segment, I want to talk about 2020. So the schedule came out a few weeks ago. Talk about Bronson. You talk about it first. What do you think of the schedule? What are you looking forward to the most?
Man, all I see is a bunch of slippery car tracks, honestly. I'm not super stoked about that. But then I kind of took a step back and said, all right, well, this is what I struggle with, so this is what we got to win on. And I'm looking forward to just going racing in general. We had Travelers Rest. That's been the only race we've gotten this year, and it's pretty crazy for especially me because I'll race anything that pays $1. So, just excited to get going racing and really, really hope we can get all 18 races in and ask that, we all stay safe and we all have a bit of fun while doing it. And hopefully a new champion comes out on top.
Absolutely. Briar, what were your thoughts when the schedule came out? A lot of half miles, and you've won on half miles. There's 1 mile at Springfield. Of course, it's a doubleheader, but what were your thoughts when you first saw the schedule?
Just relief, man. I mean, it's been – I don't even know how long it's been. My mental state, it's still March 13th, March 14th, or whatever the night before the day before the TT was, but it's 98 degrees out, and it's middle of June or end of June. So, honestly, like, I just want to get back to the track. I miss my people. I miss my team, the racing, the competition. So seeing the schedule, like, obviously there was a brief moment where we weren't hearing a whole lot, and we're kind of like, dude, we're going to get cut. We're not going to race this year. So, yeah, we're just trying to we're excited to get – I'm excited to get back to the track. I mean, however we can do it safely and just race again and get our crews back together. Like, let's just do it. That's what I felt when we got a schedule finally.
Briar, all the races are going to be double headers. What challenges does that present to you? Is it going to be a challenge at all for a rider? Does it matter to you?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, it usually takes me like a week and a half to recover from one night at Lima. So we got to load up and do it twice, and then we start in Volusia, and we have a day. We have a day to ride the day before, so we have 3 days of riding in Florida midsummer. So yeah, it's gonna be tough on the guys, the racers. It's gonna be tough on the teams. I mean, maintenance is gonna be really, really tough. So yeah, just all the way across. I mean, it was difficult. I blew up a bike the first day at Springfield when we had it this last year. So if say you have an incident the day before, now you're scrambling late nights. So it's new. It's gonna be a challenge. We don't know what's gonna happen, but we get to go race. So at the end of the day, we just gotta be fortunate for that, and whatever comes our way, let's just take it in strides and try and move on.
Bronson, what are your thoughts on the double headers? Is it going to be tough on you, tough on the crew, or does it even matter?
For one, it doesn't matter. Just happy to go racing again, but everything Briar said, it's true. It's going to be really tough on riders physically. I think typically our main events go off around 10 o'clock. It's late nights. Be back at the track early the next morning and do it all over again. It's going to be tough for riders to physically do it, just to power through, 2 days at Lima, like Briar said. That track is another war zone. It's brutal. And then again, on the mechanical side, it's going to be hard because Lima is a place where after the race, you got to go through with a fine-tooth comb to get all the key gravel out of all the nooks and crannies. So, a late night, early morning the next day to just get the bike washed. It's going to take a lot of people up until practice to have a brand new or a clean bike again. And that's going to be, again, physically demanding. So there's going to be riders, with that aren't fortunate enough to have their own mechanic. If it's just them, as I've been in the position before, it's hard. So, but in all reality, I think we're all going to, sacrifice that 2 days of racing, that struggle, just to be racing again, and really look forward to it.
Bronson, a couple of new tracks on the schedule. Of course, there's still one to be announced a little bit later on, hopefully sooner than later. But Volusia and Devil's Bowl, a couple of half miles on there. They're typically car tracks. Are those ones you're looking forward to, or which track are you looking forward to the most?
Hard to say. At this point, I'll take whatever we can to go racing. But Volusia is actually a track I'm looking forward to, just because I've only ridden Volusia once and is a private test day. So interested to see how I do there, and Devil's Bowl as well. We're all eager to be first time winners somewhere and just go racing again.
Briar, is there one particular track or one particular weekend, I guess I should say, that you're looking forward to the most?
Probably Lima, honestly. Don't tell me that. I get a big head about it, but no, I'm excited to get to Lima. That's a cool racetrack. Last year I had some issues, blew a tire off the rim, and I always like getting back to the tracks I struggled at before. So, yeah, just want to get back there. It's tough to put, really my hand down on one, my finger down on one of them. Like Bronson said, everyone's anxious, man. I was with the team. It felt so good. I was with the team a couple days ago. It felt good to be with them and, get things rolling, just kind of feel like you have a purpose again. I mean, a lot of us, Bronson's going to work and doing stuff. I train quite a bit and stuff, and I fortunately don't have to have a job right now, but I don't feel like I have a whole lot of purpose really. So I want to get back and feel that again and feel like I'm giving back to someone like the team or something. So, yeah, just excited.
Briar, Super Twins, it's new for 2020. The guys you're going to be racing with each week in every main event. It's going to be the same with the exception of the few wild cards. So who you're battling it for the championship. Everybody's stepping up their game. The pit area is going to look nicer, the bigger rigs. The competition is going to be tough. Are you excited about the Super Twins deal, and what does it mean to be involved in the inaugural year of the Super Twins?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited to race. We could be riding anything. I'm excited to do it. You know what I mean? I like the competition side of things when the helmet goes on and it's actually race time. So I think that everyone that's involved in the Super Twins is competitive. I think everyone's great racers. So I think if we have good racetracks and we have the opportunity to show people that these are, great guys on bikes, the racing's gonna be good. We showed it at like a place like Springfield or Williams Grove or just all these different racetracks where we could race each other hard and clean. We need that. We need the opportunity to show that, and I think that first year for it's gonna be huge. We're gonna show that we're gonna make it through this virus. We're gonna do everything healthy and safely, but we're excited to get back to the track and show people that even though it looks a little bit different, Super Twins is still extremely competitive and be a good thing to watch.
So, Bronson, we just said it's the first year for Super Twins. Could it be the first year you win your championship? And how cool would that be, the first ever Super Twins champion?
Once again, cliche, but dream come true. Briar's over here shaking his head, but, there's just one thing that's different about me. I'm going to be going for handlebars now, especially that number one plate, rolling out onto the track, just do a little slide drop. No, hopefully don't take anyone out, but it'd be awesome for sure. Just just want to win, man. That's what it boils down to. I want to go racing and win a race or two, hopefully the championship, and see my buddies basically.
So gold numbers this year. First time ever that I can remember that they've, let up the restrictions and open it up to have different colors, except for the color you're mandatory, you're made to run. So who came up with the gold numbers? Was it one of you two?
It wasn't. It was
No,
an Indian motorcycle. They came up with the idea that we wanted to have something a little bit different. We wanted to run the gold. We have some gold accent in our leathers and some gold in our helmet. So just a hint of gold inside in the setup for this year.
Do you like it? Does it look good? I mean, what do you think?
I'm okay with it. I had some pretty cool ideas before it came along. But I think it looks pretty good. I think anything on the inside of an Indian looks pretty good. So we'll work with it and see how we do with it. If we do well, we like it all.
That's right. Bronson, do you like the gold number 37 on your bike?
yeah, man, I just like seeing the number 37 on the Indians. So doesn't matter what color it is. I just want to see my number on that motorcycle.
So let's talk wedding. That's the week after the last round, Briar. I mean, aren't you guys gonna be stressed out about the race, and then all of a sudden you got to turn around and get married just a few days later?
Yeah. So me and my buddies, like I have one guy who's in the wedding coming from California, and we're like, dude, you could come to wherever the final round is and drive with us from there, whatever the case may be. And we're kind of thinking like, shoot, typically after the last round we have the awards banquet, which would be the following day, and we have a day of travel. Then what day does that put us home? So luckily Shane and I take things as they come at us, and I think that's gonna be one of the ones where like stress is gonna have to be at an all-time low. We're gonna have to at least try and force it that way. So yeah, gonna be a short week, that's for sure. Maybe not as stressful as when we were waiting for the schedule to get revised, because Shane was texting Michael Locke saying, hey, just so you guys know, October 25th, like that was a pretty big day for us, like don't have anything planned out on the day. So yeah, that was pretty stressful for us. So when a race didn't line up on that, we were pretty happy.
So Captain Bronson, as you are referring to yourself now in our little chat that only we can see, what do you think about your brother getting married? Are you going to be a part of the wedding? Are you invited to the wedding? Are you best man, or do you even know yet?
Man, Alex got our invitation. I hadn't. It might have been the fact that I told him not to settle, but no, I am really happy for him. He's got a good one, and yeah, I actually am the best man. I think it was a really big honor to be it. Briar and I have grown a lot together, especially this past year. We didn't always get along the greatest, and with him living in Pennsylvania, we didn't necessarily speak the most. And I'm really honored to be his best man, and as we've grown together, I really truly think we are really good friends now.
Well, that's awesome. So that's coming up the weekend after we get done with the racing. Briar, it's possible with the schedule the way it's laid out and with all the racing that's still in front of us, we could marry two champions. I mean, that would be amazing. I mean, if you pull off the number one plate and defend your championship and Shayna wins her first ever AFT singles championship, that would be just amazing. And then to top it off with the wedding, 2020, start off crazy, but it could end amazing.
What would you say?
What's that?
They had us in the first half, but if that's the case, 2020 is the year. They can't keep it down, you know what I'm saying?
Not going to happen. Unless Shane is marrying me.
Unless Shayna what?
Unless Shane is marrying me.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
So
that'd be like the knees line.
All right, I love it. So we're going to take one more break. When we come back, it's going to be time for some show and tell. We got the Baumans right here on the AFT Show. We'll be right back.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. A race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
And welcome back to the AFT Show. Today's show is presented by S&S Cycle. Two fast guys right below me, the factory Indian motorcycles with a lot of help from S&S Cycle. Briar, Bauman, and Bronson. Bronson's got his S&S shirt on right now. Briar's got his Indian shirt on and his looks like his factory Shayna Texter hat on as well. So we're having some fun. Guys, Bubba Shobert kind of started this one a few shows back. It's time for show and tell. Bronson, looks like you're in your room. Briar, looks like you're in the living room. You already showed us the gun from your trophy from Laconia last. Not that gun. We don't have the tickets for the gun show. What, Briar, you want to go first? You got something for show and tell?
Yeah, we can. It's actually I'll give a little intro quick. Shayna is even though she's a pretty plain personality wise, she likes to get arts and crafty. So
all right,
Christmas this year, she went ahead and put together a little bit of a trophy from the championship.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, the glare is pretty bad, but got the #1 plate here. Oh, hold on a second. Kind of difficult with the computer. #1 plate. She brought dirt home from the Minnesota Mile. She might have scraped that out of my helmet from when I took it to Digger. She has my my wrist brace that I wore the rest of the season in there, and then the Alpine Star with all the sponsor. They gave me this penny after things were said and done. So
that's awesome. Where's the championship Tommy Duma ring?
One sec. Well, dude, you're asking a lot. That's a little bit more than show and tell.
I know. It's show and tell. Everybody wants to see it. Tommy Duma, Fine Jewelers, TDFJ. There it is. Back to
the show, or the Shayna getting arts and crafty. She had a name, a number, the Indian FTR 750 AFT logo. So yeah,
right on.
Show and tell.
All right. Well, let's hop on over and talk to Bronson. Bronson, I hope your show and tell is wagging its tail. Did you let her back in, or?
No, I've seen her run past my window a few times, so Belle's not going to make the show this time. But man, up until I think 5 minutes before we got on today, I had no idea we were even supposed to have show and tell. Apparently, reading is not my strong suit. Homeschooling, not good. But I ran out and grabbed this thing right here.
All right.
Got my Bell helmets, Indian motorcycle helmets for the wrecking crew. This is, Laconia helmet. I stacked on 20 tear-offs. I pulled 2, so I think that might have been good luck. But as you can see, it's still dirty. After Laconia, this thing came home, sat in the bag, and it hasn't left. So this is actually the first time I've pulled this helmet out from Laconia.
I know some people are going to ask, and I know the reason, but why don't you tell us why you got tear-offs coming off of both sides?
Well, typically I'm not a great starter, so got to have a lot of tear-offs, but these are the laminate tear-offs by Racing Optics, and it's for car drivers as well, so they pull from both sides, and I was just being lazy that day and didn't cut these sides off, which would be the throttle side. Typically, we pull from this side and rip it across. I'm not going to give a show and tell of that. Got to keep the count right from Laconia.
Got to leave it the way it was when you won your first national. That's pretty cool. Do you have anything else for us? Is that all you got for us today?
Well, that's about. Hold on. Oh
no.
Dad, man, you got this picture of Bel Ray. One of Alex's friends printed it off for her. She's here locally, starting up a small business. Shout out to her. But dude, I'm lost for that. The rest.
That's cool. Briar, you got anything else? Are we all done with show and tell?
Nah, I think we're done. Honestly, I live on an open floor plan, so everything is
out and about.
Show and tell. You can see the Shayna Texter 52 up there. The whole house. It's show and tell.
Better put that back before Alex notices.
So, Briar, we were talking to Shayna last week, and she said you guys didn't bring any trophies or anything hardly at all. to the new house. Everything that's there is stuff that you've won as a couple in your house together. So when are you going to bring the rest of them there? And are you going to have to build a warehouse, or what are you going to do with all your trophies?
We actually, yeah, actually, we're gonna have to like build. We've talked about building like a shop out back, or getting like a bigger shed, some type of storage unit. Something to. We have a lot of bikes too. When you're a motorcycle racer, you don't sell things real well. You just keep accumulating. So yeah, we have a bunch of bikes. We have fortunately quite a few trophies, just from 18 and 19. So there's quite a few from 17, from Shayna's side, more on my side, but a few from 17 and the years prior. So yeah, we got to figure something out, because like I know we have an open floor plan, but Shayna's filled most of the spaces pretty well. So yeah,
where's that Knoxville trophy at?
No, she showed the Knoxville last week. I can't show it again.
Yeah,
that's allowed from the house or not.
Oh,
that's a terrible. That's a terrible problem to have. Not, running out of room for trophies and motorcycles.
No,
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah, no.
As kids, we would stop collecting them, at the amateur stuff. So gotta restock the collection now.
I gotcha. Well, thanks both of you so much for your time today, and we wish you well in 2020 when we get started in just a few weeks at Volusia.
Appreciate it, Scotty, man. Just excited to see your face, honestly. Like, get back with everyone again.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. I miss my racetrack family so much. So hopefully we'll see you real soon. That's Briar Bauman below me, the defending Grand National champion, and his brother, third place in the points last year, the Factory Indian brothers, Bronson and Briar Bauman. Thanks a lot for watching the AFT Show. Today's show is presented by S&S Cycle.
Everything we do at the track shapes what we build for the street and the dirt.
You can see how bad these guys want it. A race to the line.
For us, racing is not for the trophies or the glory. We compete because it makes everything we do faster, more durable, and tested to a higher standard. For S&S, racing is the ultimate in proven performance, and we've been proving it since 1958.
Let's get ready for our main event in American Flat Track. It's going to be a one-on-one duel for the win down to the last lap.
This is what I grew up watching. Riders talk, over 130 miles per hour, mile racetrack, hands off the handlebars. I love it.